Ultra-processed foods are increasingly recognized not only as a source of empty calories, but as active agents of harm due to their role in promoting chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This form of persistent inflammation is a silent, slow-burning process that does not produce the obvious swelling and redness seen in acute injuries, but instead quietly damages tissues and disrupts biological systems over time. Ingredients commonly found in ultra-processed foods, especially refined sugars, trans fats, seed oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, synthetic additives, and emulsifiers, create internal conditions that encourage this inflammatory response, setting the stage for a wide range of chronic diseases. Refined sugars, particularly high-fructose corn syrup and sucrose, are among the most potent dietary drivers of inflammation. When consumed in excess, these sugars lead to repeated spikes in blood glucose and insulin, creating oxidative stress and triggering an immune reaction that, over time, becomes chronic. This process can damage blood vessels, impair cellular function, and activate pathways linked to inflammation in the liver, pancreas, and adipose tissue. Elevated blood sugar levels also contribute to the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, harmful compounds that stiffen tissues and provoke inflammatory signaling in organs throughout the body. Industrial fats, particularly partially hydrogenated oils and other sources of trans fats, are equally inflammatory. Although partially hydrogenated oils have been restricted or banned in many countries, they still exist in some food products and remain a major health threat in global markets. These fats interfere with normal cellular metabolism and are known to increase levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation. Even processed seed oils such as soybean, corn, and sunflower oil, while not inherently harmful in small amounts, contain disproportionately high levels of omega-6 fatty acids. When consumed excessively and out of balance with omega-3 fats, these oils contribute to a pro-inflammatory state, especially when repeatedly heated during deep frying, as is common in fast food preparation. Additives in ultra-processed foods, including artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and emulsifiers, may further aggravate the immune system. Research suggests that some emulsifiers, like carboxymethylcellulose and polysorbate 80, can disrupt the gut lining and contribute to a condition commonly referred to as leaky gut, where intestinal permeability increases and allows bacteria and toxins to enter the bloodstream. This triggers a chronic immune response as the body attempts to neutralize these foreign invaders, increasing systemic inflammation and potentially playing a role in the development of autoimmune diseases. While this process is still under investigation, early evidence is strong enough to raise serious concern, particularly for people who consume these foods daily. The consequences of chronic inflammation are profound and far-reaching. Cardiovascular disease is one of the most well-documented outcomes, with inflammation playing a critical role in the formation of arterial plaques and the eventual rupture that can cause heart attacks or strokes. Inflammatory processes also contribute to the development of insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. Over time, inflammatory cytokines interfere with insulin signaling, impair glucose uptake by cells, and lead to progressively worsening metabolic function. Inflammatory stress can also suppress immune function in other ways, increasing vulnerability to infections and reducing the body's ability to repair tissue or respond effectively to injuries. There is also growing evidence that chronic inflammation plays a significant role in the progression of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Inflammatory molecules are capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier and affecting brain tissue directly, contributing to cognitive decline, memory loss, and changes in mood and behavior. People with diets high in ultra-processed foods have been found to have higher markers of neuroinflammation, along with increased risks of depression and cognitive impairment. This connection reinforces the reality that the damage done by these foods extends well beyond digestion or body weight. It reaches into the brain and affects long-term mental health. Even seemingly unrelated conditions like asthma, acne, joint pain, and certain cancers have been linked to inflammation that may, in part, stem from diet. In some cases, ultra-processed foods may act as triggers or aggravating factors, pushing a vulnerable individual closer to chronic illness. Given how normalized the consumption of these foods has become, Many people live in a near constant state of low-grade inflammation without recognizing its origin or its profound influence on their daily health. Fatigue, mood swings, skin flare-ups, joint stiffness, and frequent illness are all common signs. What makes this issue particularly insidious is the cumulative nature of inflammation. One sugary snack or fried meal may not cause immediate harm, but repeated exposure, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, creates a toxic internal environment that erodes resilience over time. The body becomes less capable of healing, less efficient at regulating itself, and more prone to tipping into disease. For those with pre-existing conditions such as autoimmune disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, or metabolic syndrome, ultra-processed foods can be particularly damaging, amplifying symptoms and accelerating disease progression. Ultimately, the inflammation driven by ultra-processed foods is not an isolated side effect. It is a systemic threat that underlies many of the leading causes of death and disability in modern society. Unlike infections or injuries, it cannot be easily cured with a pill or short-term intervention. The only effective long-term solution is dietary change, one that replaces inflammatory, synthetic products with whole foods rich in fiber, antioxidants, phytonutrients, and healthy fats that actively combat inflammation and support healing. Without acknowledging this connection and rethinking our approach to daily eating, we risk allowing silent inflammation to continue smoldering in our bodies, steadily fueling the epidemic of chronic illness that modern diets are helping to sustain.